All right, good Thursday morning. Thanks for checking out this Iowa forecast update here. We can see current radar looking at some rain showers working into the west and central part of the state this morning. Basically, northern half, northwest half of the state is where we're seeing that rain. There is a little bit of freezing drizzle possible out there in front, but snow is trying to mix in across northwest Iowa this morning. We'll continue to slowly see cold air take over, and I'll talk about that here in just a second. But we'll look at current watches and warnings, all right? So there is a blizzard warning in effect across the western half, basically along west of I-35 is where your blizzard warning is at. Winter storm warning in the center section, winter weather advisory farther off to the east here. Places up here across northwest Iowa, generally this area right here, where, in fact, if I go ahead and change my drawing tool color here just to kind of give you an idea of where this is at right here, okay? This area right here, blizzard warning goes in effect later this afternoon. So it's going to be in those areas right there where you may not want to be traveling already by the afternoon time frame, because actually snow is going to start falling by later this afternoon, and that wind has already cranked up across the area. So looking at the forecast radar as we go through the day here, model data really struggling to show the ultimate idea this morning, but snow is going to continue to take over that rain as we go through the morning here. Basically, so you're going to see a rain-snow mix here. And in spots here, depending on where you live, snow can take over fully, cold air just enough here. We go through 8, 9 a.m. here. We go through about 10 a.m., go through 11 a.m. here. You'll just notice here, northwest Iowa just seeing snow upon snow. So we get into about 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Again, these are some light snow showers working across northwest Iowa, but look at this good pulse of snow working across the eastern half of the state as we get into about 5 and then through about 6 p.m. this evening, kind of switching on over to a different model, just kind of show you the overall idea here. Basically, snow spreading across the state here through about 6 p.m. this evening, go through about 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then through about midnight here. You'll notice a pretty good pulse going across the center section of the state here through about midnight tonight. We go through early tomorrow morning. It's going to be between that 4 and 7 a.m. window here. You're going to see dry air set in here. Holy cow. You're going to see places like Waterloo, Decorah, Iowa City, Cedar Rapids. You're seeing very little, if any, precipitation hitting the ground right now. And then meanwhile, very, very sharp cutoff here because of that dry air. You're talking places like Des Moines, up towards Fort Dodge, Algona, Emmetsburg, Esterville, back towards Mason City here. There's going to be a very big swath of heavy snow that sets up there. And we're going to continue to watch that here throughout the day. We go through about 9 a.m. Friday, 10 a.m. Friday, 11, and then by about noon. And you notice there's already some dry air starting to eat away at the snow across northwest Iowa. So we'll have to watch this very closely as far as timing and when snow will be ending here. But we go through about 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5, there's through about 6 p.m. So things are already cutting off here by Friday evening across the western half of the state, eventually tapering off across the eastern half of the state as you get into about, I would say, 7 to 10 p.m. And then towards 11 midnight, it'll be exiting the eastern part of the state here as we head into Saturday morning. So obviously the big concern is going to be the wind, and also across the north central part of the state, we're going to be talking some hefty snow amounts here. So looking at the wind gusts here, okay, this is currently, we already have gusts up there 30 to 50 miles per hour across the western half of the state this morning. Go through about noon today, not much change. We're starting to work the stronger winds into central Iowa, but other than that, not a lot of change. It's as we get into about 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon here, I would say between 3 and 5 p.m., that's where your strong wind gusts are going to start hitting northwest Iowa. And we're talking gusts here 50 to, I would say, 60 miles per hour here. And if you think that's bad, as we go into Friday morning here, this is 5, 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, guys. As we start working some dry air across eastern Iowa, the low pressure system is working through here. We're talking gusts here. And I don't think this is overdone here. I think we're talking gusts 60, maybe even hatched at times 65 miles per hour across the northwest half of the state, guys. So this system means business here. We go through about 9, 10 a.m. Again, 50, 60 mile an hour wind gusts across the western half of the state through 10, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. We go into noon, still seeing gusts up there 50 to 55. It's as we get into about 3, 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, we'll start bringing those gusts down there more 40 to 50 miles per hour. And then as we go into about 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. here, you'll still see gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour, but it's as we get into 12 a.m. Saturday and overnight into Saturday morning, probably still going to see some gusts up there, 30 to 40, decreasing, I think, more towards 25 to 35 as we get into Saturday morning. So I think we'll still have a little bit of wind to contend with as you wake up Saturday morning, but things should subside fairly quickly. In terms of the temperatures throughout the event here, looking at 30s starting off, 20s set in later tonight, across the western half of the state. And I wanted to show you where that heavy snow is going to set up here. Mason City, Fort Dodge, just west of Des Moines there, up towards Estherville, Algona. You can see there's areas here, you're talking 30, 32 degrees. So this is going to be a heavy, wet, pasty snow where that does take place here. And then we go through Friday afternoon, Friday evening here. Temperatures start to plummet across the western half of the state down there into the teens as we get up Saturday morning. All right, so now that we have covered a lot, we'll look at the snowfall amounts here. What I'm thinking right now is there's going to be an area right in here of likely 6 to 12 inches of snow. There's probably going to be hatch to foot amounts here. I would not be shocked. Places like Fort Dodge, Algona, Mason City, and obviously Estherville, Ames. That's going to be kind of that corridor there. We're going to be watching for, like I said, 6 to 12. Okay, and then putting that into perspective here would say that this area right here, likely the best bet to see roughly, and only, I'm only talking about Iowa, I'm not talking about Minnesota, because we only cover Iowa here, but I would say 4 to 8 inches here in the outer bands that I just circled. 2 to 4 here back across northwest Iowa, and then 2 to 4 down here, and then a trace to 2 here, I think, across extreme eastern, southeastern Iowa. Okay, so that's the snowfall forecast. Looking at, up to a foot across north central Iowa. We'll be watching throughout the day, guys. Thinking northeast Iowa could trend a little upwards, and that's why I've done 4 to 8, because I think these numbers can trend up a little bit as we go through the day. But that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Obviously, looking at the temperatures over the next couple of days here, looking at 20s off to the west, 30s off to the east. We get into Saturday, we're talking 20s statewide for most of us, 30s off to the east. Sunday, 20s northeast, 30s off to the southwest. But that's all I have for today. I hope you guys have a great day.